What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Watch It in Action. I'm BouseFeenux, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Boar Prime, which is the primed version of, you guessed it, the Boar. And essentially, I've got pretty much one build for this weapon, as, you know, there's not really anything crazy that I've found that I could do with this. So taking a look at it here, I mean, we've got some pretty standard stuff, some pretty out-of-the-way things, and I'm going to kind of go through them all one at a time. So Prime Point Blank is, you can change that out for, you know, just regular Point Blank if you don't have Prime Point Blank laying around. This is going to be where most of your damage comes from, and you're going to use this on just about every shotgun that you have. Actually, pretty much all of them. So definitely want a damage mod like Prime Point Blank or Point Blank. Hell's Chamber is going to be where your multi-shot comes from. On shotguns, this is really nice because they already have inherent multi-shot, and this just adds to it, so that increases your pellet count, which is really nice. Shotgun ammo mutation, we're going to use this because the Boar is a very fast-firing weapon. It's a fully automatic shotgun, which is really nice, but you're going to be chewing through ammo, so we kind of want that shotgun ammo mutation on there because ammo reserves for shotgun aren't very high. The next build, or the next mod we're going to be using here is Seeking Fury, and this is going to give us a little bit of reload speed and some punch-through. The punch-through is what's really important here because this is a status weapon. At 98% status, that's pretty high, and those radiation, viral, whatever, blast, corrosive, whatever you want to use on this weapon, those are going to be proccing pretty often. Now, the thing about this weapon is it does most of its damage primarily in the form of impact. That's its physical damage type here. So this weapon's going to be really good against Corpus-type enemies, enemies with shields, stuff like that, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second. But on to the next, next little builds here. These are just your 60% elemental mods, 60% element, 60% status. You can swap these out for whatever configuration you want. Like if you just move these around, you'll get corrosive and blast. But if you switch that, you're going to get radiation and viral, which is what we're going to be using. Radiation is fantastic for status builds. Radiation, blast, heat, anything that causes enemies to be stunned or anything like that, which radiation confuses enemies. That's really nice. So you'll be having that a lot with this 98% status chance. We threw in 190% elemental just because it increases the damage a little bit. You can use straight up 4 elemental damage mods. But I think you lose a little bit too much DPS for that, and, 98% status I feel like is enough. Lastly here we have Scattering Inferno, which is going to be our heat dual stat mod, so go ahead and throw those on there. I mean, this is a pretty simple build to get, and at 4 Forma, this weapon is pretty solid. The one thing about this gun, though, is you're going to notice it falling off a lot at higher levels, and I'm going to demonstrate that here in a second. But its saving grace is the fact that it has that really high status chance. So we're going to test this on some Corpus guys, level 90, some Corrupted Crewmen. We're going to get in there because these guys will pretty much one-shot us if we let them touch us. So we're going to make sure we disarm them, take away their teeth, and then we're going to go to town on them. Alright, everybody's good and disarmed, and then I'm going to show you the weapon. So you notice that radiation proc is hitting them quite a bit. You notice some flash. That's how you know they got that radiation proc on. It has a very distinct, particle effect or whatever. And then we're also going to be using viral too, which is going to consistently just drop their health insanely. And it goes right through their shields, which is also really nice. So we've got the impact damage that takes care of the shields, if that viral proc isn't hitting. And then we've got the viral proc that takes care of their health, which is pretty much what kills them. So, I mean, it's doing pretty well against these guys, but against Corpus techs, which are a little more beefy, the beefier Corpus units, it's going to have a hard time getting through them. I mean, and even with these guys, it's taking quite a few shots just to get them down. So the punch-through is going to help out a lot with that when you have, highly condensed enemies, stuff like that, trying to get through a bunch of them, knocking them down, confusing a bunch of them at a time, then they start fighting each other, and, you pretty much win after that. But you notice down there the ammo is going pretty quick. This weapon shoots pretty fast. So you want to have that shotgun ammo mutation, especially if you're at a higher level and you're fighting a bunch of enemies. If you use ammo restore pads a lot, which I do, you can swap that, the shotgun ammo mutation out for another mod of your choice, whatever. It's kind of the odd man out mod. You could put a Seeking Fury in there, or whatever. But that's up to you. That's all just dependent on your playstyle. I wanted to come up with a build that was as general as possible. So that being said, guys, this is pretty much the Boar Prime. I mean, it's a super solid weapon. Doesn't require a whole lot of Forma. Unfortunately, the only way you can get this weapon now is by trading with other players because it's been vaulted, so it's removed from the drop tables in the Void. So if you want this weapon, you're going to have to buy it from another player. Fortunately, it doesn't cost that much. I think you can get a set for about, 100 plat or so at the time of this video. But I hope you guys learned a lot about the Boar. I hope you maybe found something you didn't already know. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you so much.